Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at labeling in ArcMap, and specifically we're going to look at labeling using multiple fields. Here we have sample data, and usually when you want to label, you just go to properties on the label tab, and then you pick what field do you want to use for labelings. For example, if you hop in the attributes for our sample data here, we have a number of fields that we could use for labeling. And say, for example, we just want to use the ID field in this case to label. So you just go on the properties and then pick the ID field and then check the label feature, and that will show the labels for your layer. But what if you wanted to use more than one field? What if you wanted to use more than one field to label your features? And that's where you come here and click on the expression. And usually, this used to be that you just type the label, the field that you want to use, the first field you want to use, and then use the ampersand to concatenate the two fields. So it would go, say we want to use ID field, and maybe say, I'm just typing on the keyboard, the concatenate, and maybe we want to use the lot number, and then verify the two, if the expression works, and it looks like it works. But ArcMap has made it easier now, so you don't even have to type. What you do, you just click on the append button here, and then you pick, it shows you, it connects the two, the fields you want to use. If you want to use more than two, you can do that multiple times. And the quotation signs in between the fields is just to put the space between the two fields. So for example, if we didn't have these, so this would be just like way too close to each other. For example, if we were to take these off, if we take these off, this would be like way too close to each other. You wouldn't be able to tell which one is which. And that's why Arc introduces the space. You have to introduce the space between the two. You have to introduce the space between the two fields, and that gives you some space between the two. But this is still not very good. So what you might want to do, you might want to stack these on top of each other. And that, if you want to do that, then you can come here to the expression and put a new line in between the two fields. So we say VB, new line, and this will put the two fields on top of each other. So you have the ID field, and then you have the lot number field you have the ID field on the top and the lot number field on the bottom. And you have to be very careful here to make sure that you have VB script as the parser that you use, because the VB new line doesn't work for other languages. For say, if we were to copy this and then change this from VB script to say Python and copy that one there, this would not work. So the concatenation for Python is not the ampersand, it's the plus. And the syntax for stacking is the /n. So if you were to use Python, this would be your syntax right here. Another thing that's, now that we have this stacked up, we can even go and do something else. For example, we can go here and identify these fields. For example, we can put a string in front of each of the fields. Say, for example, we want to call this, we want to show that the label on the top is the ID. So we could say the ID and make sure to put the space in between, and then say this one, we call it lot number, and when we hit OK, now it shows that we have the ID and the lot number. So that's how you label features in ArcMap using multiple field.